December.
I saw the sign this morning. I was like, "Oh, that means a place."
Yeah, I took it yesterday.
Yeah.
Is it on camera?
We're just waiting. It's just spinning. Yeah, there we go. See that? You're all set.
We're going to start the meeting of a special meeting of the Summers Board of Selectmen. Today's Thursday, March 16th. And I'd like to start this off with a Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me in that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. We have Mike Marinaccio on my left, Bill Meyer on my left, on my left, Mike Marinaccio on my right, Bill Meyer, Selectman Bill Meyer. Mike Marinaccio is Director of Finance, CFO of the town. We have Brian Wissinger, Assistant Director of Finance, Kim LaFleur, Operations Director, Dan Parisi, Land Use Director. And we also have several representatives of the fire department. We have Ray Stovall, Cody Lemire. If I don't get these names right, let me know, okay? Ray Stovall, Cody Lemire. Lemire.
Close.
All right, I'm just reading your
you're
just reading your jacket
It's like
there.
French pronunciation.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy Simmons and Tim O'Keefe, right? Okay, you got the right first name anyway. Okay, so we have time for public comment. If anyone has any public comment they want to make. Anybody have anything they want to say? Okay. New business. We have no old business. First item on the agenda is discussion and possible action to authorize the first selectman to sign the agreement for paramedic intercept services between the town of Summers and the town of Stafford. This, of course, is something we've been working on since last June, I think.
Yep.
And due to the foresight of the ambulance, the Stafford Ambulance Association, I think they have been incredibly helpful in making this occur. And as you know, we've done various cost analyses here in our Office of Finance, and I think this is a fair agreement, and it's a temporary agreement as well. As we know, Trinity Healthcare has been given a license by the State Department of Health to provide paramedic services to Stafford. We had a meeting on that last week. It sounds like it could work well, but you know the proof is in the pudding, is in the tasting. So you got to see what it's going to be like when it happens. And they claim that by the 1st of July they will be up and running. We're not sure what the scope of that's going to be or the depth of the service, but we're here to work with them. And again, it's all about providing the services that are necessary in Stafford, and that's never been in dispute. So, anything you want to say, Bill?
Yeah, I would echo what you said. I think this is intended to be temporary. And Kim, can you just make sure that's put in the minutes that it's temporary? I think, I just want to make sure that this is not seen by future as a permanent solution. I commend you, Tim. I know you worked hard. I know our finance team, Mike and Brian, have worked hard. I know Stafford coming to the table. They've tried to work with us. I know it's a tough problem for them. It's a tough problem for us. I'm thankful.
It's a tough problem with the fire department, too, because they have trouble recruiting people when they find out, hey, you're going to spend half your time in Stafford. Yeah,
for the line firefighters and paramedics, definitely. I think, for the line folks. But we're certainly not recovering all of our costs. We made significant capital investments to be able to cover Stafford, and those aren't covered here. But again, as a temporary measure, I'm appreciative to Stafford that they're willing to make the town more financially whole for the cost that we've incurred for responding there. So
again, also these are services that we've been providing to Stafford for over 3 years now, and this is the first time we've done an internal financial study that has uncovered the fact that indeed it's costing Summers taxpayers money to provide these services, and we're not talking about denying the services. We're We're just talking about how about recovering a good
Yeah.
portion of our costs.
Well, and I think the Board of Finance and Board of Selectmen from day one have said, we're not looking to cut the services off right now because we know Stafford will be left with nothing. We want to be good neighbors and respond while they come up with their own permanent solution. So this is a temporary stopgap to give Stafford more time to come up with their own solution for their town. And I know they've batted around a lot of ideas, partnering with Trinity, or potentially even creating their own paramedic service, and that's up to them.
Yeah.
So,
But
okay.
it's never been an issue of cutting off services. It's
No.
to make sure we.
And no one's ever
Yeah,
recommended.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So this would be a motion to authorize me to sign the agreement, which has already been signed by
Yeah.
Alex Moore, Chief of Stafford Ambulance Associates.
Make a motion to authorize the first selectman to sign the agreement for paramedic intercept services between the town of Somers and the town of Stafford, to provide temporary paramedic services through July 1st of 2023.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is on the agenda is discussion and possible action to approve the agreement between Ray Stedward, Enfield building official, and the town of Somers. Again, this is a temporary situation. The agreement we had with Stafford was terminated. They were providing us 21 hours of building inspection service on a weekly basis, and our other next-door neighbor, Enfield, just happens to have not only one building inspector, but they have a building inspector and 4 assistants. So we've got a situation where we're signing an agreement, or proposing to sign an agreement with their building inspector, Ray Stedward, who is making available some of his assistants on their off hours to assist the needs of Somers, which are far less than the needs of Enfield. So that's what. And this is a temporary fix. We're also hoping to recruit a full-time building inspector, which is thank you.
I know you had to put this together quickly due to the short to no notice that Stafford gave us, but I think this is going to be a great temporary measure to kind of make sure we can continue,
Yes.
projects and things moving forward with qualified building inspectors to sign off on them. So
It's been reviewed and approved by
Yeah.
the town attorney, Carl Andolina.
I make a motion to approve the agreement between Ray Stedward, Enfield building official, and the town of Somers as presented.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Next is the discussion and possible action to appoint Ray Stedward as the town's Somers building official. That's acting town Somers building official, which he has to have according to statute in order to
State
carry
law.
out
Makes
his
sense.
duties.
So I make a motion that the town of Somers appoint Ray Stedward as the acting building official for a period not to exceed 90 days.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in support of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next is discussion and possible action to approve the building official / land use, director of land use job description, which is attached, and post the position with an annual salary of between $100,000 and $110,000 a year.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the building official director of land use job description and post the position with the annual salary of $100,000, $110,000 per year as presented.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Great. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Next and last here is the discussion and possible action to post a part-time position for an emergency management director at an hourly rate of $27.
Okay, I make a motion to post a part-time part-time emergency management director position at the hourly rate of $27 per hour.
And by the way, I should also mention that this is expected to be about 20 hours a week of work time.
And this is to replace due to the resignation of Glenn Reynolds.
Due to the resignation of Glenn Reynolds, correct. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Anything else that needs to be discussed?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. I second that and
All right.
adjourn.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Okay.